All right. I'm seeing red. The heart of a war is in my blood. Wonder is wrong with my lungs. You can see in my eyes, I am the phoenix about to rise. I'm seeing red to a higher level again. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing red to a higher level again. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing. One-man army under the gun. Locked and loaded. Here I come. Laying on your back. Always at the ready to attack. I'm seeing red to a higher level again. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing red to a higher level again. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing. I'm seeing red to a higher level again. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing red to a higher level again. Hear the voice inside my head telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing. I'm seeing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Second Amendment Ranch. Unfortunately, today, Carl is going to be busy with the restaurant, so I'm going to be I normally lead it anyways. So if you want to be a part of the ranch, if you want to come on and discuss some of the things we talk about, if you have any questions, let me know. It's really hard to do a 2-hour segment show without somebody to bounce things off of. I am going to open it up to questions from the get-go. So if you have any questions, go ahead and start asking now just so I can address some of them. Wasn't expecting Carl to be busy, so I didn't get as many articles as I normally get because normally we run through like 3 of them and don't get time to run through the rest of them. But I do have 3 gun fails for us today, so look forward to that. To start us off, another New York gun buyback. Yeah, another one. Any guesses as to how many firearms they managed to buy back this time? I'll give y'all a couple seconds to respond to that one. But I want to see what y'all think. Hi, Barbara. I want to see what y'all think New York was able to buy back and what they consider a win. So, Scott, little low. You got to remember, the few that we have done, I think we're at a total of like 600 for everything that we've pulled up so far. I know you're kind of seeing through my hoodie right now. I wanted to be comfortable today. I'm a little in my head right now, and I'm not. Yeah. But there's one guess. Any other guesses to how many firearms New York was able to buy back? Going once. Going twice. Y'all don't want to interact today. I see how it is. New York was able to buy back 50. That's right. 50. That was it. They consider this a win. 7. Hi, Jules. Let me move my camera a little bit so I can see your comments. But water late? I don't know. Watervliet. Almost 50 firearms are now off the streets of the capital region thanks to the gun buyback event. Saturday. Yes, this Saturday. Yesterday. Saturday. Amnesty drop-off event was hosted by the police, other local departments with the support of the New York State Attorney General's office, ESDAD 50. We do this because guns in the wrong hands or in untrained hands or in various hands can be very dangerous, says Cassandra Walker, Regional Director of Intergovernmental Affairs for the AG office. The Amnesty event offered gift cards for those who dropped off all types of firearms, although most of the ones brought to the event were antiques. Not a lot of people know what to do with a gun. You can't just throw it in the garbage, says Walker, so it's a safe way to dispose of it. Mayor Charles Petrocelli said it's almost 3 decades since the city had one of these events, and it was time for another one. Seeing some of the gun violence that's been going on around us, I felt very powerless to it and said, what can we do? He added, is there anything that we can do to help the situation? Police Chief Joseph all Italian. These are strong Italian names today. Said his goal was to protect those who are most vulnerable if firearms are in the wrong hands. We hope to focus on groups that I describe as exposed, and that is children, domestic violence victims, and those who may be suffering from mental health issues, along with preventing any accidents from happening. Hopefully down the road, you will not see a tragedy where one sibling accidentally shoots another from a firearm that was in the house that was just left there from a family member. If we can prevent one of those accidents, then the event and everything surrounding it was entirely worth it. The Attorney General's office claims they've taken 2,500 firearms out of communities across New York since 2019. Yeah, New York, the articles that you've shown us, you're still in the triple digits. You're still not in quadruple digits yet. So, now, mind you, this is over the course of about 3 years. And we showed the facts and statistics and the amount of firearms that Americans actually own. And that out of 100, what was it, ladies and gentlemen? I think it was 125 or 150. There was 100 firearms per that group. Hey, twin. So, gun buyback programs do absolutely nothing to take firearms away from the people that are actually going to cause the problem. Gun buyback programs buy firearms for $50. Sometimes you can get a little more, but usually you're not getting as much money as that firearm is really worth. Then you're taking the firearms away from the people that honestly really should have them, that could be the victims later on. It's not taking away from the criminals. It's not taking away from rapists, murderers, thieves. It's taking away from people that are untrained, fearful, inexperienced, unknowledgeable. It's taking away guns from people that just don't know any better. Hi, Jade. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something else to do because I can't afford a tattoo right now. So, yeah. Oh, I hate when they give me so many pop ups. Stop. The funny part is, if y'all remember last week, we talked about how they were talking about racial problems with buying guns and that white people can buy them more and it's affecting the black community. Well, the funny part about this is more women, especially black women, are becoming gun owners. That's right. In Indianapolis, more women, especially black women, are becoming gun owners right now. In the first 6 months of 2021, nearly 87% of gun stores nationwide had an increase in African American women buying firearms, according to the National Shooting Sports Foundation. Vaden's Firearm and Ammunition, located on the city's east side, has been in business for almost 6 months. Owner Ryan Vaden said he has already seen a huge increase in sales, especially among black women. Vaden said 6 out of 10 of his in-store customers are black women, as well as 90% of his out-of-state sales. Many of them are first-time gun owners, and it's all a part of a national trend. Hey, Dan. Yeah. Most of the firearms turned in are old, non-working relics or not worth it. Anyways, and the funny part about this is a lot of these gun buyback programs, a lot of people are taking 2x4s and steel piping and making firearms. And as soon as they demonstrate that they actually work, no questions asked is what they say. So they have to buy these firearms back with no questions asked. Easy way to get a couple $100 if you know what you're doing. African American women will sit here taking a stance when it comes to self-protection within their families and within their communities, said Vaden. It's not just African American men who hold that presence. Vaden's Firearms and Ammunition has seen such an increase in women buyers that some guns are frequently out of stock. One of Vaden's customers, Mildred Willis, said it's about empowering women. We just want to be able to protect ourselves and protect our children so we can be around. She said, with the uncertainty from the pandemic and the county's civil unrest, all play a major factor for many women wanting to buy a gun. Hello, Chris. Glad to see the black community, especially black women, are getting into the shooting and sports and self-protection. I agree. Let me see if normally Carl runs the comments for me, and well, there's not somebody here right now. I'm having to go back and forth. When you are being targeted, you hear stories like Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland and have included these incidents going on all across the country. You want to know that you have at least a chance of survival because some people are radical. Willis said she would suggest all women educate themselves on gun safety and how to exercise their rights. Everybody deserves an opportunity to protect themselves and their homes. They should not be afraid to learn about guns or even own a gun. Thanks, Dan. Wanting to protect themselves. How crazy. It's almost like if you take away the firearms from the people, they can't defend themselves anymore. It's like that's why the Second Amendment was written. Nah, couldn't be. That's just anarchy. But we are about a quarter of the way into the show, and I said I had 3 different gun fails for today. So we're going to go ahead and show the first gun fail. No, I kind of want to save you for the middle. Yeah, let's go with this one. Y'all can already see what's going on here. Somebody decided that the first round didn't want to exit and kept firing. I also want to note that this is a revolver. And even to some revolvers, which go up to 7 and 8 rounds, you have 9, count them, 1, 2, let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on, show the right side. Come on. There's 8 over here. Oh, 8 round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rounds. Also off by 1. But again, some revolvers go up to 7 and 8. This one does not. This is a 6-shooter, which means that this individual decided that at some point in time, they were going to reload and fire at least two more rounds. Ha! No, sir, you're not firing blanks. Your bullet's just not coming out of the barrel. If you have this problem ever, if you think you're misfiring, your sights are off, anything like that, it's a good time to stop, tear your gun apart a little bit, open it up, get a flashlight, and even you saw how close this one was to the end. The far right was that far, how close to the barrel end itself was. It wouldn't take much to angle that down and go, oh, that is a round sticking out. This gun, see right there, this gun is now done. The first one, you stop, you might be able to fix it. Might. When you fire this many after it, there's no fixing stupid. Yeah. Chad and Jade say, yeah, I may not be a smart man, but I know when something's screwed up. There you go. The headaches that I have to deal with trying to find these gun fails. We had some squibs and a blown up barrel at the Arizona PCC Championship. How'd they handle that? Looks like a good gun for the buyback program. Yeah, I mean, if it's a done gun, you may as well. Hey, man, here you go. Oh, that's great. Thanks, man. You know, here's your gift card. Dumbass. Both of them were thinking the same thing. Mr. Magoo was trying to make it auto. Yep, he was going at it hard. Stop. Check your firearms. It may not be what you think it is. If there's an accident, misfire, something, always take the time to inspect everything. Take a look. Could be a problem with the hammer, a barrel. There are so many things that can go wrong with a firearm malfunction. So don't keep trying the same. That's the literal definition of insanity. Trying the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different outcome. That's exactly what they did here. Stop. Take the time. Pull things apart. Once you find the problem, then you can address it. Honestly, I think the main cause of this problem was inexperience and probably bought the wrong caliber. They saw probably 38 and said, oh, this is a 38. Cool. Not thinking 38 special plus P. Not thinking that there's different variations of the same type of ammunition. And if your gun, you know, I've got a 38 special plus P. So I can fire those two. I can fire 38 specials and I can fire 38 special plus P. Not firing a 38, not firing a 380, not firing a different thing because they do have variations. And you have to look at the ammo itself. You know, don't buy from Joe Blow who repacks his own ammo and says it's good and he sells it to his friends for cheap. Well, he's only got 3 friends and all of them don't pay enough attention. So don't be that. Don't be this guy. Don't be this guy. Let's see. Now, I'm going to kind of get this out of here early because I don't like talking about these situations because they are a little heartfelt to an extent. But I do want to, you know, anytime we see these, I do agree with this article. It is a tragedy. But it's when a child gets a hold of a firearm. Raytown, Missouri, a family in Independence is facing tragedy after police say an 8-year-old boy died from his injuries following an accidental shooting on Saturday morning. Hi, Nick. We're just trying to pull all the pieces together and figure out what happened, said Jack Taylor. However, Stephen Bracken of Blue Steel Guns and Ammo and Raytown Indoor Range says this type of accident is tragic, but it does happen. It's always a tragedy when children get a hold of a firearm, Bracken said. Unfortunately, guns will lay around houses and children are always pay the price and anything because they don't know better and they're playing with something they know nothing about. I'm going to stop right there before I continue on. It's true if you don't train your children. 8 years old should have been getting training with a firearm. That comes down to the parents on two accounts that I can see off the top of my head. One, they left the gun loaded out and in an unsafe area. If you have children, I can't harp this enough. Buy a safe, buy a barrel lock, buy something to put your gun in a safe, what's the word I'm looking for? Situation that it's not going to be a problem if the child gets a hold of it. So, one, they left it out and unattended. Two, they could have put it in a safe. So, three, they should have been training the children. There is a point in time where they are too young to train. Hey, stranger.
Hey.
Holy shit, who are you?
I don't know. I've been gone for a while.
All right.
I had to use a different microphone.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, you know where I'm at. So
yeah. Don't want to take the nice one there, huh?
No, not right now. Not until figure out everything that's going to go on up here since the bar's open and restaurant going.
He does live, Chris. I got a letter from the school last week. If it was for a class we can opt out, it's gun safety class. I would not opt out. I would love to see more schools. I mean, your children spend at least 40 hours of their life, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. They're spending at least 40 hours at school. And that's on the low side. Extracurricular activities. You got to give them time for lunch, tutoring, before school, after school, band practice, football, anything like that. They're spending the majority of their conscious time at school. I want to make that very clear. The majority of everybody's conscious lives we spend where we don't want to spend it. Work, school, something like that. So if a school is willing to teach your child about firearm safety, one, I recommend going and interviewing the instructor themselves. If it's a public school, it should be no problem. Hey, I want to have a meeting with this teacher. Okay, let's set it up. So go ask them, go run them through the ringer, and make sure he or she knows what they are talking about. You don't want just some guy that's like, guns are bad. If you see something, say something, stop and run. No, that's teaching them fear. I want to teach them respect. If you see a gun, okay, make note of it, walk away. Hey, mom, hey, dad, I found your gun sitting out. And it shouldn't be, you shouldn't have found that smack. You shouldn't have been in that room. Okay, well, I appreciate you bringing this to my concern. Let me go ahead and put this up in a safe area. But I want to remind you that this room, mommy and daddy's room, is off limits for many reasons. Don't want to have your child catching you playing 20 toes, do you?
I don't want to. Really.
No.
When I was in school, we used to have a hunter safety course in high school that you had to go through. Basically, they taught you all about gun safety.
Yeah, I mean, it's beneficial. There's no real downside of giving your child a little extra time to learn that it's not I call them toys, but I'm a grown-ass man, and, well, yeah, different story. But for kids, teach them the right way. And, if you hired me to do it, I'm not going to tell you, it's a toy. No. This is a dangerous firearm. This can take and will take a life at some point in time. Whether it be this gun, another gun, the 30-06, AR-15, AR-10, whatever you have. Teach them about the different types of guns that are out there. Teach them about the different safety methods. Teach them about the different ways to lock it up. Whether it be the chain running through the barrel, whether it be a trigger guard or a trigger lock, whether it be a gun safe, a hidden. I love seeing them. They've got bed frames that you can stick your hand up and the shotgun drops down into your hands. But you don't teach them fear. They'll grow up hating firearms, and then they'll get in a situation. I'm not saying they will. For metaphor, This is not, I'm not saying that you will run into a situation where you need a gun, but if they do run into that situation, it's like, well, damn, if I would have had something to protect myself, I'd have been better off. You need to teach them respect and care, cleaning, tearing apart, putting it back together, looking for malfunctions. Again, we just showed a gun fail with a malfunction. That's something they should learn young. Yeah, Jade says, my boys all have pewed more than a BB. Yeah, I started off with a Red Ryder and what the hell was that other? My brother had the nicer BB gun, and I always stole it off of him. But, airsoft guns, paintball guns, BB guns. Teach them all the same thing. Teach them the same way. My friend didn't teach her children about firearms. They came across a loaded handgun when they were 3 5. A criminal had ditched it in the gully near our houses. My son went out to play, and thank goodness they did, because they saw her kids about to play with it. Her kids thought it was a toy. My eldest was 7 and took it off of them. Good. That's your child did the perfect thing in that situation. Get it away from the inexperienced, the unknowledgeable. I'm not saying they're dumb. I'm not saying they're stupid. The one thing I like to harp on this show is there's no such thing as a stupid question. So if you want to ask them, ask them. But he did the right actions by getting it away from the youth.
Yep.
So bravo to him. So, but to continue on with the article, they say guns should be accessible at night in case somebody has to defend their homes, but your firearm should be locked up while you are in the house all day long with no threats. When you go to bed at night, it should be accessible in case somebody does come in the house late at night. Other than that, you should leave it locked up. Now, I can agree and disagree with that to a little bit. Daytime, you're not going to see a lot of robbers, but there are stupid people out there. I would say leave it in a hidden area where the children really can't get to it or know that it's there. And, one of those areas, stay out of here. And then when you're out of the house, either have it on you or have it locked up. That's what I would add to this article. They did add a couple things that I can agree with, but they're getting a little too intense with some of the safety precautions. You're there, you can, and I mean, they're kids. Make them play outside. That's what my parents did.
Right.
You wake up, get outside.
Don't
you
come
want
back
water?
in until dark.
Yep. Street lights come on, get back in the house. Ta-da. Now you've got one less concern.
Right. But
Next.
where I grew up, you was always taught about guns when you were little bitty, because Grandpa had them, might as well say, out in the open, a little metal cabinet there, right? So you was always taught to respect a gun, not bother it unless the adult was around. And that's what a lot of our country and families are lacking, is the morals and values that you got to teach into these kids. Because growing up as teenagers, we ran around with them in the back window.
Can't
Drove
do that
to high
anymore.
school with them. Windows rolled down. While we were in school, there was 12 gauge, 30 30s, 30-06s in there. Loaded. But nothing ever happened because we were taught the right way.
So Nick Post had this conversation yesterday. Teach them early and to respect my guns. My long arms are put up, but convenient depending on the situations. Pistols with or near me 24/7, and our older children know how to clear a gun if they mess with it, but also know don't mess with my guns unless it is warranted. The grandkids know don't mess with them at all, but know about them. Scott says he taught his son about the age of 12, and he is a very responsible shooter now. Jade adds, my great uncle was paralyzed at 13 for messing with firearms, and she is still not against them. Jules says, my cousins and I grew up around firearms. They were in the adults' bedrooms unlocked, but we never went near them because we knew if they'd get their butts whipped. Chad says it was like that when he grew up. And yeah, at my school, everyone had a gun rack in their back window. Everyone went hunting before school. It's just a different day and age. I was born a little too late in my mind. But that's the problems we're running in. You've got these people pushing guns are bad, guns are scary, guns kill people. Guns do what they're told to do. That's like saying the spoon made me fat, the pencil made me write this wrong, the pen wrote this crappy poem, the car made the accident, made me drive drunk, shit like that. You're blaming the item for the actions of the individual. I mean, it's the same, we're running into the same crap, but racially. Look at Kyle Rittenhouse's case. He's got a bail of $2 million, been sitting in prison for a few months now. And then they just had another kid go and shoot up a school, killed like 3 or 5 people. And he got out in like 3 days with a bail of like $15,000. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was substantially less. So they're pushing these racial problems, and if you do the right thing, which Kyle Rittenhouse did the right thing, he was running, he was fleeing towards the police, was attacked, assaulted, and they were coming up to kill him, and he did what was well within his constitutional rights, defended himself, and did what was necessary, where this other monster just went into a school and shot people. Historically, the largest capacity revolvers were a Lamont 9-shot percussion, 36-42 caliber smoothbore, and a Le Fachot 20-round revolver. Many modern-day revolvers are 710. High capacity, these great guns back in the days. Actually, there were even greater capacity revolvers. They had a 36 capacity revolver that was a 3-shot at one point in time. 3 different drums would pivot, and they would line up, and the barrel had 2. It was set up like this. So you had one barrel up top. Come on, work for me. Fingers up. There we go. 1 barrel up top, 2 barrels at the bottom, and it would fire 3 rounds at the same time. It wasn't a very practical gun, but it was a damn impressive firearm. Just to add, I am born and raised in Colorado. Watched Columbine and recently STEM. That was from Jade. Different states are too unfortunate. My husband came in and watching me on this laptop. He busted in laughing, say, "Thanks, April." Shot 4 people. Last I heard, he was in a coma. Bail at $75,000. Got out, and they had a party for him. Yeah, I like some old. I actually just learned about a repeater musket loader today, Dan. I was watching through just a normal feed, and it was in the 1600s, if I remember right. They designed, it was, let's say the French designed a repeating musket loader. What it had is it had a side barrel designed to hold your balls, and then it had another side chamber designed to hold a measured amount of black powder. And when you pulled a lever on the side, this lever would dump in the powder, realign, get the ball, and as soon as it lined back up, the ball would drop in place. And it was said that it was so quick, it would fire, normal musket loaders were doing 3 to 5 rounds a minute. This one was doing 30 to 60 rounds a minute. Yeah, go look that up, Dan. It was pretty impressive. Stepson's friend allegedly stole a pistol from a car, and the next day was showing it off at his baseball buddies and mishandling, killing one of the 16-year-olds that was standing next to him. This happened less than a year ago. Yeah, that's unfortunately, you have to basically beat morals into your children. I'm not saying beat the crap out of them, but my dad used to tan my hide, and now I have something called respect for others most of the time. There are some people that just push my nerves. 1718 was the first machine gun. I believe we covered that. Are you talking about the first Gatling gun or first machine gun? Yeah. Well, Chris, I love that you bring that up. Chris says, love that argument when people say 2A was only meant for musket rifles. Well, in fact, the Second Amendment was designed and created to have the people have the same access to firearms and weaponry as the government. So that way, if the government did become tyrannical and they needed to take action, then they had the same amount of firearms, or at least the same quality, if not better. The second reason that I love that argument. Well, if that's true, then the freedom of the press means pen, paper, or quill and pad that, basically anything that you want to go with. If you're going to go with typing and printing anything, then you have to use a printing press for your newspapers, which would take days to give out an article. There's so many things. Well, if this is true, then why are we doing the news like this? It should all be newspaper. Or if you want to interview somebody, it's quill and pad. You show up to their house and you have to come and interview. You can't phone call somebody. So you want to say that this is an outdated amendment, that, well, everything would technically be outdated, but they did not create the Constitution with the technology of that time in mind. They created it to have it be continuous through history, through life. So that way, when we did progress, because they saw we were going to continue forward, they planned so that no matter what, any infringement would be argued against no matter what type of guns we had, whether it be AR-15s or muskets or cannons. It didn't matter. It's supposed to be, it's not a living document. The Constitution is a living document. It is the breath and life of this country. And it was designed to continue throughout the ages and continue guiding the American people with what they should have, what they should look for, and how they need to deal with problems. It is one of the only living documents in history because it pertains to everyday life through history, especially being for Americans. And yeah, Biden is outdated. In fact, Rome was screaming F Joe Biden today as well. Rome, of all people. What happened in Houston? I have to go and find the article. Do you know how many dumbasses think the Second Amendment covers hunting? Oh, I know. That's only going to protect you so you can go and hunt your deer and get your dinner. No. In the Constitution, it literally says if the government is acting tyrannical, it is the duty and purpose of the people to remove that government and instill a new one. They covered that in the movie where they stole the Constitution verbatim. Like, you think more people would realize, oh, that's not true. Oh, it is. Yeah. Do you know? The Second Amendment has nothing to do with any type of firearms. It has to do with protecting the citizens' rights to defend themselves. Exactly. Liberals do think everything is outdated. Chad, that's true to an extent. Our liberal here, Scott, does not think that. Biden is outdated. Julie, a little spot remain. Okay, if it's the same one that happened, it's not far from where I grew up. This kid had been to our house many times, and we thought he knew better than to steal, but by all means, don't mess with guns. Then the first would be, according to that, they make no sense. National treasure. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, I mean, if they love to call it's not a living document. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It pertains to everything and everybody today. It continues to be life for Americans, just like the American flag. American flag doesn't fly from the wind or the breeze. It flies from every breath of every soldier, sailor, or Marine that has ever served. Ta-da! That's why I found it so disgraceful that they wanted to change the American flag to something more pertaining to people's feelings and more up to date in life and everything. That's a whole nother monster. No, the American flag doesn't need to change. If you try and change it, if you're trying to change our guns, there's going to be a lot of black flags flying. It doesn't have an expiry date. Just like that DD-214 or that oath that we took doesn't expire just because you want it to. It's the article we just covered. Okay, here is a perfect example of what not to do in a situation. NHP footage shows unarmed suspect pretended to pull out a gun before a trooper fatally shot him. Las Vegas body camera footage provided by Nevada Highway Patrol shows a suspect pretending to pull out a firearm and point the weapon before he was fatally shot by troopers in the Northeast Valley earlier this week. This is suicide by cop. That is the only way to put this. When you decide to do something, this is a man that was going out one way or another. Bro, your hoodie is tripping me out with being bald. Well, I'm dealing with a lot of crap right now, Jade. Excuse me for having a Britney Spears moment. Our forefathers were smart enough to protect the rights of the people way back then for what we are dealing with today with the un-American administration. 100%. This is not an American-based administration. This has been bought out by China, Russia, that rich-ass family that I can never remember the name for because it's something stupid and it just makes me want to hurt them more. But the suspect, identified as 41-year-old Adrian Zarate Cervantes, was not armed. The hell? An HP said in a pre-recorded press briefing and released this Thursday, he kept his chest rugged. Yes, it's still there. The two troopers who fired on Zarate Cervantes were identified as Michael Abate and Mark Wilner, who were both hired by the department in 2013. At 7:22 a.m. on October 3rd, the suspect called 911 and told dispatch his wife claimed he kidnapped her. The woman took the phone and said she was slapped and could not exit the vehicle. Bilderbergs, Rothschilds, and Rockefellers. Thanks, Nick. Thanks. Could have just continued on with our conversation without ever having to give these jackasses the time of day. But okay. About an hour later, Abate located the vehicle in the northeast valley on Lake Mead Boulevard. He observed the woman waving her arm from the vehicle, and HP said the trooper tried to stop the vehicle, but the suspect drove off. And HP said the other trooper arrived at 8:22. A lot of people tried doing suicide by cop. 8:22 a.m., both troopers gave commands for the suspect to exit the vehicle with his hands up, but he didn't follow directions and instead reached for his waistband and pointed at troopers as if he was armed. The suspect made a motion that could not be mistaken for anything other than drawing a firearm. Bate fired once, causing Zarate Cervantes to collapse to the ground, holding his stomach. Carpenter said that he then reached toward his waistband again, and both troopers fired one shot each. The woman was told to exit the vehicle. Troopers then cleared the vehicle, called for medical assistance, and rendered first aid to the suspect, who died on scene. Other highway patrol troopers were presented with a life-threatening situation and responded to a threat in a manner consistent with the department's policy, training, and established case law, Carpenter says. She praised the troopers for the courageous and professional response. Yeah, no, they did the right thing. 100%. If you act like you're going to draw something on me and you're in my house or coming up my driveway, I'm going to shoot you. I'm not going to get a chance. I don't want the chance to see, yeah, it's a gun before I start pulling my gun. No. Every second counts. And in this situation, he may not have had a firearm. Well, he didn't have a firearm, but even the motions of going and grabbing for the firearm, that's time that he has before I go to grab my gun. That's why I love outside the waistband holsters, open carry, because it's that much easier for me to get to my gun instead of trying to fumble around, pull it past my belly, and crap like that. So when in a situation where time is essential, do you really want to take the time to figure out if it's a real gun? That's like the kids that were walking around with airsoft guns that had the black tips instead of the orange painted tips. How are you going to be able to tell if that's a real gun or not just from 20 feet away? It's impossible. Nobody can, in the blink of an eye, you're not going to be able to tell me that's an airsoft gun and that's a real gun that quickly. No, don't walk up Cameron's driveway and try and draw something on me. Barbara says, right, but how things are today, you don't have time to second guess. And Jade Lopez says, stand your ground, almost all justified if I felt threatened. Exactly. No, if it's the case where, God, I wish I would have saved this video. But that would have been a little extreme for, yeah. But a gentleman was walking to his apartment and heard somebody following up behind him, was going for his gun. The guy come around the corner and starts kind of popping back and forth, trying to see if it is who it is. Well, by the time the person that was acting suspicious went to draw his gun, other guy already had his out, put 2 or 3 in his chest. Time is everything in this matter. Don't second guess yourself until after everything is said and done. But slow, controlled movements, if you're going for something in your pocket, that's noticeably different than I'm going for something on my stomach or on my back. Chad says he saw that one. Oh, nope, that's the don't close that article. Let's go ahead and do another gun fail. What one is this? Oh God, yeah, I remember this one. All right, I gotta let this one play through because unfortunately the damn thing has to go through in order for me to restart it, which is stupid. But some of these are impressive. Some of them are gun fails. Hell, 11 and 12-year-old girls walking around with stolen guns and use them instead of their fists. Yep. Yeah, that's the problem with a fight today. Used to be you beat the crap out of each other, went on your separate ways, and that was it. Now people hold vendettas and grudges. If you get your ass kicked, you got your ass kicked. You started the fight, you deserved it. But now they go out and grab their gun and come back with buddies and I got to get even. It's the only thing to do. It got to be hard. No. He beats you up. Taking his life is a different story, or her life, excuse me. 8-year-old shooting that school, Nick. Whoop, there we go. I was followed home a few months ago. My awareness kept it from being something more, but a squirt gun was at reach the entire time. Yeah, after we terminated the problem child at my work, I did the same thing. Watched my rear view mirror the whole way home. But here we go. Share screen. Again, some of these are fails. Some of these are actually kind of impressive. I have that gun too. Water gun version. Don't try and be hard like this guy. One-handed double barrel shotgun. This one was impressive. Yeah, they go and do drive-bys. That's the dumbest thing I have ever seen. Well, we know where he lives, and you're going to risk everybody else's lives around you because we all know when you do a drive-by, you can't aim for shit. Too little, was it actually in the middle of Georgia, in Alamo, Georgia? Not sure which incident. I think that was the only fail. Yeah, if you're going to fire a shotgun, if you don't know the recoil of your guns, I can fire a shotgun one-handed, but I'm also letting it come back by my head, not taking it to the face. Don't be this guy. And it looks like he's in a rural neighborhood. There are plenty of other houses around. The fact that he got away with that is impressive. I know there are certain areas where you can do that, but even still, the area that I've gone to behind the houses, it was wide open. I mean, there was a hill to shoot into. Oh, I don't know that one, Candy. I didn't see that article. You know, Google, they don't like to show me anything. Oh, you can't have interesting stories for a show. Well, funny you say that because I do have an interesting story. DC's ghost gun law faces legal challenge from Dick Heller, a successful gun rights activist. Yes, this ghost gun crap might finally come to an end. In response to the rising number of untraceable ghost guns on the streets of Washington, D.C., the D.C. Council last year passed a law banning the weapons. The guns are homemade with a barrel trigger and slide attached to a polymer frame with no serial number, so police cannot track them when they're discovered after a crime. But a new lawsuit argues that the city's law is overly broad and outlaws all polymer-based guns, including the top-selling guns made by Glock, which are issued to most D.C. police officers. Law makes an exception for military and law enforcement users. Big case of do as I say, not as I do right there, isn't it? The city has a poor track record in its attempts to restrict guns in the city, with its prohibition on gun ownership overturned by the landmark Supreme Court decision in District of Columbia versus Heller. Now a plaintiff in that suit, Dick A. Heller of Southeast Washington, is back with a challenge to the new ghost gun law, as well as the district's long ban on manufacturing weapons. D.C. elected officials have long adhered to a cynical policy of self-government for me, but no defense for thee, wrote George L. Lyon, Jr., Heller's lawyer. A spokeswoman of D.C. Attorney... it's like I just said that. A spokeswoman for D.C. Attorney General Carl A. Racine declined to answer specific questions about the pending lawsuit, but said the office will continue to do everything within our power to combat gun violence and improve public safety, including defending the district's common sense gun laws in court. We are proud that the district has a strong laws on the books to protect residents from gun violence. You have one of the highest rated gun violence states in America. In fact, if we remove New York, Washington, and Chicago from the 50 states, we go from being number one of gun violence to number 64 in the world, something like that. Don't quote me on that number, but we are no longer the top or even in the top 20. I know that much. But still, you brag about your gun laws and gun rights and that we're safer. Prove it. If you think you're that much safer, give me your statistics. Let me see your gun crimes. Let me see everything. Stop hiding it. Stop waving in our faces that, oh, we're doing so much for gun violence, because you're not. You're taking away the people's rights to defend themselves in a safe manner and making people defend themselves in an illegal manner if they decide to do that, which in that case, they are probably going to do what they need to do. And then they're going to end up in jail because you're a bunch of jackasses in Washington. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Heller declined to be interviewed, Lyon said, but he and other gun rights activists have won a series of victories over the district and the courts in recent years. The rulings have been overturned: a ban on weapons with a capacity of 12 rounds or more, ban of carrying a weapon outside of the home, ban of on possession of ammunition without gun registration, and a ban on non-residents possessing a gun in the city. Last month, a federal judge ordered the district to pay damages to 6 people who were arrested under gun laws that were later found unconstitutional. Ghost guns are a relatively new issue for police nationwide. The materials to make them are easily purchased online with instructions on how to mill, drill, and assemble the parts into a working firearm. The frame, or 80% lower part of the gun, is made of polymer, and holes must be drilled into the polymer to attach the barrel, trigger, and firing mechanism. Fully constructed polymer frames made by manufacturers such as Glock are popular because they are much lighter than metal-based guns. That's an advantage for people who must carry guns on their hips all day, such as police officers and members of the military. The top 10 pistols sold on guns.com were all polymer-based, with the Glock 17 and 19 models used by the DC police topping the list. The homemade polymer guns are known as ghost guns. Y'all know how I feel about that damn word. Because they don't have a serial number, unlike those made by manufacturers, and purchasers of kits aren't required to undergo background checks. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, Nazis, and Explosives has been ruled that unfinished frames for handguns or receivers for long guns do not qualify as firearms because they cannot fire a projectile and so are not regulated and readily available on the internet. Are not regulated and are readily available on the internet. The Biden administration has proposed a new rule to regulate polymer frames and receivers, and a group of state attorneys generals has filed a lawsuit against the ATF demanding it regulate the unfinished parts. Polymer-based guns are different from 3D printed or 3D made guns, which are almost totally plastic and are already illegal under the Federal Undetectable Weapons Act. A 3D gun, again, unconstitutional, is also a ghost gun, but police finding very few of those because they have not proved sturdy enough to handle the heat of repeated firings. In the district, the number of ghost guns found by police has been soaring from 116 in 2019 to 306 last year to 327 in the first 9 months of this year. DC police said one was found at the scene of a fatal shooting that allowed a flag football game in California. Several people who were prohibited from buying guns legally turned to ghost guns to construct rifles and pistols used in mass shootings. In 2016, California began requiring those who make their own guns to obtain a serial number, place it on the gun, and provide information about the state owner. So criminals that can't get guns are going to get 3D printed guns. It's almost like we talk about this shit every single week. You will never, ever, ever, never get the damn guns out of the criminals' hands. Ever. There's not one damn thing you can do yet that you can prove to me will work unless you decide to ban all guns, ban all 3D printers, and then burn and melt every single gun ever made in history ever. They're going to get their hands on something. The gun is not the problem. Bad men are going to do bad things. It takes a good man willing to do bad things to stop that bad man. Squirt gun with holy water burns because they're evil. Nick Nicola, that explains why there are so many Trump boat parades. Barbara DeSantis have lost count of how many times they've made appeals to the public on the news that if anyone finds an issued handgun in such and such area to contact them, how they've seen misplaced at their own police stations. Chad Candy, that was the search parties looking for all of the lost ones. Awesome people are out there who are willing to help find them. Don't go to South Australia because Nerf guns have to be registered as firearms. I hope that's a joke. Jolie Little Spud remain. I'm a loss for words. Yep. Like someone is really going to give it back after they took theirs. Boomerangs. The insanity of that will never make sense to me. People who aren't allowed to have guns are still getting guns. Oh, the shock, I tell you. Boomerangs are okay, just like a lot keeps the dishonest peeps being honest. Most of the time they're handed in. Hi, Carl.
Hey, Jade, how you doing? Glad you joined.
Where the hell was I? Okay.
I don't know. Where were you?
Heller's lawsuit acknowledges that the district has a legitimate governmental concern in prohibiting untraceable firearms, but it is astounding that the D.C. ghost gun legislation doesn't say a word about requiring serial numbers. The suit also challenges a D.C. law that has been on the books since 1976. No person or organization shall manufacture any firearm, destructive device, or parts thereof, or ammunition within the district. We know of no other jurisdiction in the United States that has purported to ban manufacture of firearms. Jesus. Mark Olivia, Director of Public Affairs at the National Shooting Sports Foundation, said for law-abiding citizens to make a firearm has always been legal, but DC's never been shy about trying to infringe on Second Amendment rights. He said laws already exist that prohibit felons, domestic violence offenders, and others from owning guns, and those who should suffice whether a gun is mass-produced or homemade. But a federal judge in Nevada recently upheld a ghost gun law there, saying that gun owners are not stripped of an opportunity to self-manufacture and assemble firearms and constituent parts as long as they are serialized, as the law there requires. U.S. District Judge Miranda Dew wrote that the law does not severely burden the Second Amendment protected conduct, but merely regulates it. Because that's a difference. David Puccino, senior staff attorney for the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence, said that the right to make your own firearm at home, I can't find that in the Second Amendment. I can't find an amendment that says you can talk shit about the Second Amendment, but here you are. In an affidavit, Heller said that for some time I have desired to build my own firearm, which he was willing to register and place a serial number on it. So he ordered a kit to make a Glock-style 9mm handgun from a company in North Carolina and had it shipped to one of the district's two federal firearm licensees. Licensee is someone cleared by the ATF to sell guns. Licensee in the district received the kit in April, consulted the D.C. police, and was told to send it back, which they did. Thus, Heller had damages by being deprived of his parts kit, Lyons said. Lyon then looked at the new ghost gun law, which is similar to the federal law from the 1980s that banned plastic guns when fears arose that plastic guns could be snuck through metal detectors on airplanes. The federal law requires that after removing a gun's handle and magazine, it must still have 3.7 ounces of detectable metal, but the DC law requires the 3.7 ounces of metal after removing the gun's barrel, trigger, and slide, leaving only the polymer frame, which by definition isn't made of metal. Law defines a ghost gun as a firearm that after the removal of all parts other than the receiver is not as detachable by detectable by walk-through metal detectors. Removing all other parts other than the receiver leaves only the polymer frame. Lana notes in the lawsuit the district had apparently unwittingly made existing polymer frame handguns illegal. There are only 2 other plaintiffs in the suit who have mass-produced polymer-based guns that they now fear are illegal. Pacino said that the first of the district's definition was clearly aimed at. I can't talk today. Clearly aimed at plastic 3D guns, but the law also defines a ghost gun as one that includes an unfinished frame or receiver, which would be most homemade guns. Partially finished frames and receivers are left unfinished to skirt contemporary federal laws, Pacino said. He said the Biden administration's proposed change in the federal rules would require the unfinished frames or receivers to carry serial numbers. An unfinished frame or receiver is defined in D.C. laws as not yet component part of the firearm, but which may, without the expenditure of substantial time and effort, be made readily operable frame or receiver through milling, drilling, or other means. Heller's lawsuit attacks the definition as unconstitutionally vague. The suit notes that the district's concerns with ghost guns could be easily addressed by requiring unfinished frames or receivers to be registered and have serial numbers, by requiring the transfers of unfinished frames or receivers be conducted by a licensed dealer accompanied by a background check. Lion is seeking preliminary injunction against enforcement of both manufacturing and the ghost gun laws, and a declaratory judgment that both laws are unconstitutional, and the city must file its response by October 18th. Bleh, that was a mouthful.
Yes, it was.
But somebody's finally taking action against these jackasses, which, again, you should be able to make guns at home. There shouldn't be a problem with that. The fact that, oh, it doesn't cover this, it doesn't cover this. No, you want it to cover that. That's why you're being a jackass.
Right. You should be able to make a weapon at home as long as you're not making it for mass production.
Yeah.
You know, just like we have the, you can make your own wine. You can make your own beer. Right? And stuff. Same type of thing. Make it for yourself. Use it. You know, make a slingshot.
Exactly. And I mean, if you can make a better quality gun, then do it.
Right.
What they're concerned about is they're making better quality, and they're going to make it have that third selector switch. They're going to drill that third pinhole. You can't have fully automatic guns. No, you don't want me having fully automatic guns. There's a difference.
But, you know, make a gun. If you're making it better, hey, you're going to have gun manufacturers coming to you offering you big dollars for all the rights on it. You might as well retire.
Yeah, exactly. If I could make it better quality, hell yeah. Which reminds me, I still need to look up a lawyer for this lawsuit.
Oh, you can't hardly hear me? That's what Barbara's saying. Can you hear me fine, Cameron?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. I was probably farther away from the microphone. But anyway, yeah. And sorry, folks, I've been running back and forth. Me and Tammy's the only ones up here at the restaurant right now. So it's been a madhouse.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'll look for the lawyer after we get off today. See if I can't find somebody. It's hard to find a lawyer.
I know it is. I've contacted a couple and still waiting.
Yeah. So it's the top of the hour. It's time for the third and final gun fail for the day.
Oh, you already showed 2 of them?
I already showed 2 of them. I didn't know how long you were going to be distracted still.
Here, there, and yonder. You know how it goes.
You don't want to see stupidity at its finest?
Yes, I do.
Warning. Blood. Yeah, this is viewer content advised.
All children, turn off.
I can't believe what we're going to watch. Yes, they are playing Russian roulette with their feet. They have a live round in that firearm. You can see it on the lower part of the camera.
Yep.
Oh, it gets worse. Just stick with me. Graphic content. Concrete, mind you, they're on a concrete slab floor, so the ricochet
Oh.
is possible. There's the first explosion. Yes, first. His foot's now bandaged up and decides I can keep going after getting shot in the foot. Instead of going to those bandages look like they were thrown together. That is not like a medical professional did this.
This is stupidity at its finest, folks.
Shooting each other in the feet. He's already lost once.
We'll let you know, Barbara.
Yep. And there's round 2.
Good.
All right, Barbara, it's over.
Okay, Barbara, it's over. You talking about stupid people.
All for what looked to be $80, 120, 40, 68, $160.
No.
80 of which you're putting in yourself. So you're only winning $80.
Right. But now look at his doctor bills.
Yeah. You've got 2 holes through your feet, which
That'll
if
have to
y'all
be rebuilt.
yeah, which if you also don't know, gunshots have to be reported to the police.
Yeah.
Have to be. They're in a neighborhood. There's probably 5 or 6 people in there.
Already calling.
Yeah. So he has to go to the hospital. Yeah, you can't. There's not a legitimate, well, I was running and something jumped up and bit me. No, it's not the same thing there, Hoss. Even Forrest Gump had a better IQ than you do.
Right. TDC, we don't know where exactly that video came from and everything. It should, as far as I know, it was shot here in the United States, wasn't it? Or did it look like?
As far as I know, it's the U.S.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, folks, Mike Miller did get blocked from YouTube. He got banned from YouTube. So beware of that. I know Chad was saying something about that. Yeah, he came on last night. YouTube has blocked him. So we're finding different locations for all our shows.
yeah, Chris, I can understand playing Russian roulette at a gun range where you're taking shots at the paper. Makes sense to me. But your feet, he can't walk anymore. Not for a while. Unassisted, anyways. So he's going to have to explain to his job, if he even has one. I mean, you're not playing Russian roulette with your feet if you've got a stable income. But if he has a job, he's going to have to explain it there. Then he's going to have to explain it at the ER, because if he does not, you saw his that first foot was bandaged together with what looked like they had just lying around. Like, that did not look clean and done well. And it's still, you've got a hole. You've got a quarter-sized hole all the way through your foot. There's a lot of bones there. So now you've blown bone, which means you've got shrapnel, if it's not the round itself blown apart in your foot, you still have bone fragments floating around in your foot. He has to go to an emergency room to have this dealt with. Otherwise, he's going to walk with limps for the rest of his life. Short live last night and went against community standards. Yeah. YouTube is so fun. Well, but I was hoping he was going to be here for a little longer, because that's all I had for the day. Just shove some cotton balls in there. Yeah, that's going to work real well. It's people like that give gun owners a bad name. I'm not saying they're not illegally holding that firearm, but they're discharging a firearm within a neighborhood, some super glue. It's going to take a lot of super glue. A lot. Here, I cringe and laugh. This cringe that innocent people will get hurt from these asshats shooting in neighborhoods, but laughing because they're shooting up their ammo. That they're all shooting up. Now, I'm not saying a round fired up is going to kill somebody. Straight up, straight down, it's not. But if you remember on Mythbusters, if you angle that round any, it will. When you have a gun and you discharge it, it does not have that same gravitational force pulling it down, stopping. Its terminal velocity is less than that of what would, it's going to hurt like hell. But when you angle it, it's being pulled down, but it's not losing like if it were shot directly straight up and pulled straight down, where it is losing a substantial amount of velocity. So it'll continue on its trajectory. Look at the 22. They found 22s a mile and a half away embedded into trees and stuff because they were fired at an angle. That's a long distance for a 22 caliber. So when you add this angle, when you put this trajectory to it, it still will have the force to kill somebody. This doesn't mean that, Cameron said I can do this as long as I fire my gun straight up. No, you're an idiot. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. No. I'm just saying it's less lethal if you do it that way. Still a terrible idea. Very bad idea. Because it does have the potential to kill somebody. Hi, Crystal. Where were we? Super glue. What I really should have never been around firearms. I won't go outside most times if I hear a lot of firing. Carl is dealing with the restaurant. They only have him and one other person there right now. So they are flooded. So, yeah. 4th of July, New Year's around here, all the neighborhood apps and local social media play rounds coming down into people's houses from celebratory fire. Yeah, exactly, Nick. It still does damage. And a lot of these aren't getting fired and straight up and down. And they're going to dent your car. They're going to crack your glass or break through your glass. They're going to come through. We have 2 holes at my job in the roof. They found one of the rounds. Don't know about the other round, but we've got 2 holes because some jackass decided to fire up into the air. Nope. What are the rules? Know what you're shooting at. Know what's behind your target. I don't know what's behind my target when it's coming down from 2 miles up. The earth likes to spin. And if I fire straight up here, oh, look at that. It's like it moves. God. People didn't pay enough attention in school. I didn't pay a lot of attention in school, but I still know enough to not fire a gun straight. That's what gives gun owners a really bad name. Oh, they're all shooting up, and hell no, it's a free-for-all. You've got to be able to just. I don't hear too many straight bullets here. People usually know where they're shooting. We have had 2 situations in my neighborhood of gunshots, but they're usually way the hell over there, about a mile down the road. Yeah, a mile, and I'm still hearing the blasts. And we've had the articles come through a couple times where gunshots were fired, and most of the time I just sleep through it. Okay, well, if it's my time to die, it's my time to die. But if those sounds start getting closer, then I may go ahead and grab a scoped weapon real quick and just try and figure out what's going on. Way over there, nah, not my problem. A couple houses down, yeah, let's figure out what you're doing. Oh no, it's a free-for-all. Any questions today? We got a lot of time to kill, and Carl's not here right now. So any questions at all? What the hell? Why is my phone on loud? So my boss told me I have to turn my phone on loud now. And I don't like having my phone on loud, like, ever. Because it's a distraction. It's an obnoxious thing. And, well, it buzzes a lot with random spam emails. But then it comes on and I'm like, just shut up. I'm going to throw you in the water. I'm going to throw you against the wall. I hate hearing my foot. The vibrations I'm used to, but that ping, just shut up. Oh, God. Way too many gunshot incidences in my neighborhood. Check the Discord. The people designed new American flag. Oh, God. Oh, God. How do you like gun fails? Oh, that was fun. I seen that one, but that's a good one, Crystal. Where did you oh, my word. Oh, God. Really? Really? So this is what they're proposing for the new American flag. Yes, you heard me right, Barbara. It looks like we're going for communism. That's what that flag looks like. Yeah, that Crystal, that's a good gun fail. I've seen it, but that one's got a lot of interesting tidbits. The troll, Nick, the unpleasant individual that we had on here during the world record. Yeah, Jerry Springer. Yes, he got terminated. And I'm going to keep pushing my boss to put in. So I'm sure all of y'all know I'm struggling a little bit right now. So they fired this guy. They don't want to hire a new one. Like, yeah. Hey, you got extra money floating around now. I need that money. He's not getting his bonus. Give it to me. That money he was making, yeah, we pay me a supervisor salary. But Bart the Angry Smurf, Jesus. Yeah, I was happy to see him go, but it's a struggle keeping things running with only 4 people. I've had to kind of put hands on more than I like to. I like to really let them do what they need to do because they are the dive team, and I'm the dive team supervisor, maintenance guy, facility supervisor, if you will. I don't just run the dive team. I run everything in that damn building beyond the instructors. If there's maintenance going on, if something breaks, something's failing, I'm the guy that has to deal with it. So the owner, he wants to start doing paper trails on everything, right? So now I have to document every little thing that comes to my plate, which it looks like he is making me step out of what I was doing, where I was really a part of the team and put hands on everything and kind of micromanaging, but not trying to avoid that. You know, I'm there, I'm here to help, but if I see something, hey man, go deal with this, go deal with this. And now it's more of, you need to deal with more of the paperwork side of the job, and you have to be a supervisor. Yeah, Barbara, I agree. It's looking like I'm going to have to sell a gun. I applied for a loan and was denied. Yeah, so why are you not allowed to get a dive ticket, dive certification? That's what I'm curious about. But yeah, Barbara, we are happy to see him go. And I don't know if you heard this, but we had a tier 3 licensed individual come in and had to give us tier 1 training, which is what we deal with. We deal with tier 1 training. Tier 2 goes to the ambulance and everything like that. But she knew our Smurf and told the guy that brought her in, she knew personally, she asked, do you know anything about this guy? I'm like, no. And she gave us some interesting information. Yeah, yep. Okay, Jules. But she told us that he has been blacklisted from the medical field, the majority of the medical field around Houston. He's been blacklisted from fire departments around Houston. And she said that he has gone through 3 supervisors, and any team he is a part of, he is a cancer, he is a sickness, he is a disease, he's poison. He will kill whatever team he is on. And I had been pushing my manager to get him gone for a while because I saw it before even hearing this. I knew I've got 3 people bitching about him on the team. I've got instructors complaining about him. The instructors have nothing to do with him. The fact that somebody outside the department is coming to me and telling me problems is a huge red flag. The team, all right, maybe they're just having problems getting along, separate them, crap like that. No, didn't work. He was still going behind my back for a lot of things. And he started a rumor saying, well, I don't think I can respect Cameron because he's not going to be around for much longer. He's looking for another job. I wasn't yet. Still not. I probably should if I can't get a pay raise, but he was putting words in my mouth, and I wanted him gone. And then when my manager heard that, she's like, yeah, I'm getting rid of him. Like, it's almost like I told you so. Oh, she's so tired of hearing me say that right now. So tired of hearing me say I told you so. I can't fly a plane. Recreational diver, advanced certified, can't afford to get industrial certification. I am a licensed diver myself, but I don't use it. The gear is too expensive, and I can't afford a vacation right now. All right, I got to stop looking at this flag. It's pissing me off. German hunting knife. That's also a gun. That's also a calendar. Chris, you post some of the most interesting things in Discord. I'm not going to get an OnlyFans, Jules. I thought about it, but I just too much respect for myself. And sugar moms don't exist, so it is what it is. I lake dive and just need to rent a tank, which is usually about $5 or $10 per refill. Do you need some company on there, Cameron? Well, I don't know. I was thinking about wrapping it up a little early today, getting to bed kind of early. But if y'all have any questions, I'll answer those real quick. We'll give you a couple minutes to kind of ask around. And Chris, the lake pond, we're in Blue Lagoon in Texas, and that pond, whatever the hell that thing is disgusting. The ground is softer than cotton. My knee sank down about 6-8 inches before I even realized I was at the bottom. And once you hit that bottom and stir it up, visibility just goes to zero. And there is the alkalinity, the pH, something is off in that water where there's only like these itty bitty little fish in there. So they try and make it entertaining. They sank some boats, put some platforms down there, and that's not diving. That's a training center. But yeah, it's a disgusting area. Like, it's beautiful to look at, but once you're in the water, it's like, I really don't want to dive here. Yeah. It was not as entertaining or fun as I was hoping it was really going to be. So it is what it is. Any questions, guys? I got 5 people watching right now. Bueller, I opened it up last time. Y'all didn't want to ask anything. Come on. Biden probably peed in the water. Well, with his medical problems and pills that he's on, I could see that. Because that man is not there. Ruger, what did you ask? I just asked. I have a good question. How do you eat a banana without look like you're sucking? Okay, use a knife. We had a guy, and we did an ice cream social at work, and that's what they did. They used a knife to eat their banana. Ow. I hate ants. What's the limit you think they should put on mental illness? As far as what the VA claims your disability should be? What limitations are you referring to? Because there's plenty of limitations that can be addressed. Yeah, Barbara, we're definitely concerned that he's going to cause problems. We addressed that. On owning a gun. Well, it's hard to answer that for personal reasons that I will not get onto in documented methodology. Think you have to make your own limits in that case. Now, mental, the bipolar disorder, depression, yeah, those are high risk. I'm talking more schizophrenia, hearing voices, just not fully there. But I can see the majority of mental illnesses being on that list, but I think depression and bipolar disorder should be monitored by somebody. Red flag wise, what is your question about red flag wise? Hey, I'd probably pee in the water. What are you referring to, Jules? Wonder if they want to get rid of the full auto. Does that mean they're going to take my FFL? Well, I think that is a possibility. Red flag laws. Oh, God. Epilepsy is seizures, as far as I know. I'm not too in-depth on epilepsy. I had a buddy with it in high school. But no, I don't think they should take away your firearms for epilepsy. That's bullshit. That's not affecting your mental well-being. It affects your body. But as far as your normal function, and as far as I know, it is a treatable case. No, they shouldn't take away your firearms. Psychosis. Let me get the real definition of psychosis. Come on. People lose some contact with the reality. This may involve seeing or hearing that other people cannot see. Hallucination. That one would be pretty bad. That one I could see. Red flag laws are unconstitutional. Being able to break into somebody's house in the middle of the night is garbage. I can't agree with red flag laws at all because the ones we have seen, they have been unconstitutional. You have to fight and pay to get your guns back. And even still, the majority of cases still have yet to receive their guns back. I don't know much about epilepsy, but as far as I knew, the guy I had in high school, it was treatable. He had to avoid like flashing lights a lot. So driving, he had to have special glasses. But it is not a mentally affecting disorder. It doesn't change who you are. It just, you go into a seizure. Your body convulses and stuff like that. That's not, I can see it being bad if you have a gun in your hand, but if you take the appropriate precautions to avoid your triggers, then no, I see no problem with an epileptic owning a firearm. And yeah, Chris, that's why I say that bipolar and depression should be monitored, but not banned. People try and dump it all in one group like they do. Yeah, I agree. When it comes to disorders, they don't, look at PTSD, originally shell shock, and it was called something else before then. And we didn't really start delving into PTSD until about the 80s and really saying, oh, crap, this is an actual problem. It's causing flashbacks. It's causing trauma. It's causing people to become violent. It's a huge disorder, and we still don't know everything about it. And the things that we do, a lot of people treat it with marijuana. You can treat depression with psilocybin, and they don't want to. They would rather create a medication that they can tax and charge hundreds of dollars a month, if not $1,000. Look at penicillin, or for our diabetics, the epinephrine. No, that's allergies. Jesus. The hell is insulin? Look at insulin, which is $1,600, $1,800, depending on what states you're in. That's what they would rather have instead of a natural solution or treatment like marijuana, THC and CBD, or psilocybin from mushrooms. And I mean, look at the side effects that with basically any prescribed, hell, one of the side effects for depression medication is thoughts of suicide, depression, anal leakage, rashes. I mean, hell, the side effects for taking weed and psilocybin, you go on a trip and you get the munchies. Those are pretty damn good side effects, if I don't say so myself. I got a little hungry and I went on a trip somewhere. I don't know where, but it was weird. But the majority of veterans that I know that have PTSD do self-medicate with something because they would rather use this than kill themselves with all these pills and medications, and it kills their personality. It kills their sex drive. It changes who they are. Medical weed legal in Florida. The THC seems to help with PTSD. CBD helps with the epilepsy and PTSD. General partial epilepsy, but it's controlled. Keep flashing lights away from me. My son has PTSD, self-treats with weed. He is good for the most part. I can definitely tell him he is off of it. Yeah, and I can't agree with alcohol being legal and marijuana being illegal. Look at how many people alcohol has killed, whether by killing their liver or drunk driving accidents. And I'll argue this point to the day I die. Alcohol is not a depressant. It's a mood enhancer. If you're happy, it's going to make you happier. If you're sad, it's going to make you depressed. So if you are angry, it's going to get you even more adamant, aggravated. So allowing people to drink excessively like this, okay, fine, Danny, we had prohibition, we fought it, great, we won, whatever. We still have laws, and people break the laws, they'll get punished for it. But marijuana is a natural plant, and as far as I know, the only negative side effects that I've seen is it slows you down, makes you lazy, and you get the munchies. And the people that I know are on it, as long as they control their dosage, fully functional. Wouldn't be able to tell that they smoked without them telling you. Called breaking the law. Jesus. Yeah. But I don't want to risk it too much with the possibility of needing to look for a better paying job. And I can't agree with it being banned. I can't agree with it being outlawed. I can't agree with people sitting in prison for 20 years for having a pound of it. But, we don't have much say here. I talk about what I can talk about and bring to attention, but, government's bought and paid for. Texas is very, very against marijuana. Has and always will be to an extent, unless we get some more understanding people in there. And the odds of that happening, unless we want to turn Texas really blue, is slim to none. You've got these old bastards running the government that are thinking they're doing what's best for the people, but they grew up in an era of the 70s and 80s where they saw, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. They're racist and bigoted and just bastards. Why? We need to get some youth in there every now and again and change things up. The fact that the government is all people over like 50 years old is outrageous. You grew up in a different era and you're putting us back to another Great Depression. Suicide rates are within the next year are going to spike. Alcohol, DUIs, gonna spike. Gun sales, gonna spike. This is a conspiracy theory. But how I've seen things going, I can definitely see a lot of this jumping up. Veteran suicide, veteran homelessness in general, all gonna spike. War on drugs was a mess so effed up many people's lives more than the drugs would have. I agree. Prisoner are there for just weed, though. At least in prisons, I worked in Florida. Well, it's more. They're spending more of their time in jails, not prisons, but they're still locked up for an insane amount of time for having a controlled substance and putting marijuana on the same controlled substance list as cocaine and heroin, methamphetamine is outrageous. It does nothing of the same side effects. Meth is going to eat your body. You're going to eat somebody's face. PCP, you're going on a roid-filled rampage and destroying half the city. Yeah, and Jules already brings up a very valid point. Since COVID alone, suicides have spiked. You know, we talk about the 22 a day a lot. Since COVID, we've been looking at 30 to 40 a day of veterans, homeless or veterans themselves taking their lives. Small pipe, it was Texas DPS. Yeah, they've gotten a little more lax since then. I had a bartender get arrested with weed, and he said it's not a large enough amount for me to charge you. But the fact that you have a pipe, I should charge you. But if you drop it on the ground and break it and step on it, then you'll get off with a warning. So they've gotten a little more relaxed on it in the past about 7 years, 2015. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 6 years. Yeah, they've gotten a little better in the past 6 years. If weed was legal, they would never have been. Spice K2 synthetic weed. Yo, I agree with that. Jesus, that crap. The synthetic marijuana that they were trying to make legal, which was causing all these horrid side effects and killing people and causing lung problems and people ripping off their faces. Yeah, I remember that was, I want to say that was 6 years ago too, 7 years ago. I think that was when I just got out of the Navy. So 2015, that was real popular, but it's been a few years. Never did that crap myself. So 20, it was more recent than 20 years. I'm only 29, and I know I heard of it before then, or after then, I should say. But any other questions real fast? Going once. Going twice. Putting people in comas. Yep. When you got arrested. Okay. All right. Well, it doesn't look like y'all have many questions today. Bueller? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you coming out and doing this on this Sunday evening with me. I know Winchester or Remington. Got to go with Remington because that's what I have right now. I haven't gotten the Winchester yet. Sunday. Sorry, Barbara, I'm out of it. I'm dealing with some crap. Medical marijuana card, you should be able to carry a firearm with you. Yes. Unless you get caught way too baked in public, I can agree with legalizing marijuana. What you do in the confines of your own home, on you. But if you decide, it's like being in a bar. If you've got a gun in a bar, it's illegal. So if you want to carry, you cannot be baked at the same time. But if you're at your house, what you do in the confines of your own home is your own business. So I don't think you should have to choose between being able to buy a new gun or being able to smoke marijuana. That's an ultimatum that they gave us. You can smoke or you can own guns. Majority of gun owners are going to go, screw you, I'm doing both. How's it going, Carl?
Oh, been busy, but
I can see that.
Appreciate you doing the show here. I'll get it under control here by next week.
I hope so.
So who's it? Ruger Man, who we think it is?
It is.
Oh, great. Great to see you back, Ruger.
Should you shoot while high? No. Just like we talked about, don't play with your guns drunk. Same thing. You're under a mind-altering substance. It's not the safest idea. I'm not saying it's as bad as alcohol because, again, alcohol is a mood enhancer. But if you're playing with a firearm and you're high, chances of injury increase dramatically. So, no, I think that's a bad idea as well.
And to tell Chad, I had one of the ladies up at the medical marijuana dispensary up here as a
Yeah.
medical marijuana card. She got her 9 mm, passed the background check and everything here in Missouri.
I think that's because of Missouri's laws where they're banning a lot of the federal laws they're
Right.
going through, but you got to look at other states.
Right. That was just to prove everybody up here you can get a medical marijuana card and still be able to own your weapons and still be able to purchase them.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if you find me a job that pays me good enough and I don't have to kill my body, I'll be moving real soon.
How much you want?
It's 20.
Okay, well, fast food's paying 15.
Jesus. Well, I don't want to work at fast food.
I'll keep looking. I know Altec.
Oh, the guy has to build.
Yeah, they build those utility trucks.
Yeah.
It's actually easy work, but yeah, I don't know how your back would handle it.
Yeah. I just
concrete.
Draw a line in relation to whether it's red flag or not. Line on that in relation to whether it's red. I don't think red flag laws need to exist at all. So, any other questions? I was wrapping up the show there.
Oh, that's all right, man.
I didn't know.
I appreciate tonight. Christine had to run to the hospital to get her husband. Somebody tried escaping out of the county jail, and he went out and tackled him and hit his head on a rock and got a concussion. And so she had to take off. And today is Chief Sunday here at the bar.
I can tell.
Yeah, you can tell, right? Okay. But yeah, so I said, I'll take care of it. Tammy's up here with the grandbabies, and we got it under control. It's just popping in and out.
Yeah, I gotcha. You know, you've done it with me being AWOL, so I can
it's
understand.
One of those things up here until we get, well, this was unexpected, or I could have been here all night.
Now I got to get Gunny's paws dealt with. He's been playing in some. I've got him on allergy medication, painkiller, scratch spray, flea spray. Paws are swelling up. I don't know if they're getting better or worse. So, hey, more money to spend that I don't have.
Yeah, I know how that is.
Oh, God. And you know how bad it is.
Yeah, I know, bud. We're working on it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just, she was saying we might get our bonus this Friday, and I'm hoping she's right about that.
Yeah, but don't get your hopes up too high on how high that bonus will be. I just got a strange feeling.
Yeah, with how much money he's dropped on this new equipment.
Yeah.
I think I'll get maybe $300.
I was thinking more $250.
She's like, well, what if you get $150? I'm like, I got that bonus when I was working at Lowe's.
Right.
That's not a bonus. That's beer and taco money for a weekend.
Yeah.
$150 is not a bonus. It's a, hey, thanks for doing this. Here's an extra $150 for working on a weekend that you don't pay me for in the first place. Yeah, Carl's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
For a little bit. I'm just ranting and bitching at this point in time. Y'all don't want to hear that.
Yeah. But, yeah, everybody, thanks for helping Cameron keep going on the show. I had to pop in and out.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to be absent so much today, so I didn't get as many articles as I normally get. And normally when I get that many, we're skipping like 3/4 of them.
Right.
Because I'm going off on some other tangent. Like, all right, well.
Chad wants to know what your title is. Diver or what? Are you the what?
The official title that I have is Dive Team Supervisor. However, my contract states I am the operation and maintenance worker. And technically, I am the facility supervisor. Because
Right.
I don't just deal with the dive team, I deal with the whole facility. And I have to run everything. I got to make sure we've got snacks, sandwiches. Sometimes it's really the manager's job for that because that's money based. Running electrical wiring, fixing doors. Now I've got a damn rescue strap that's broken. I've got bolts missing. I've got one day I had this paperwork. How many guesses do y'all think I had to how many forms I had to fill out or pages I had to fill out on Friday? One day. How many did y'all think I had to fill out?
40.
No, not that much.
Well, I was thinking you had to work hard.
If I would have kept going, yeah, I probably gotten there. All right, I'll make it easier. In I think it was 4 hours. How many did you think I got? Yeah, so 4 hours. 4 hours. If I would have done this from the start, I probably would have gotten 20. So I do all the work above, below the water. I'm responsible for the team, the heavy equipment. I've had to deal with the Irish a couple times. I deal with the transit suits, the propane. I deal with the Temp C, Hewitt, fire extinguishers, wall damage, paint, drywall, anything like that. I did 9. I'll go ahead and answer that. I did 9 forms in 4 hours. Well, they changed my title as far as I know, because they all call me the dive team supervisor, but they did not give me a pay raise to go with that title change. Yeah. Title needs to be changed. So you can been there, done that. Big title needs bigger bucks, and they only have to do. Yeah, no, I agree. But if I want to argue that point, and he did hear about me wanting a raise a couple months back and got very shitty about it. And by shitty, I mean my dad did this for years, making $10,000 a year, and he didn't complain as much as you do. Kind of conversation. Well, your dad is your dad, and he's trying to help you get your company up and running. I'm a grown ass man, and I need to make grown ass money. Your dad's retired. I'm not. I don't have the option of extra income coming in. So he was less than pleasant to deal with on that day. But it is what it is. I'm going to keep harping on it and probably start job hunting this week. If I want to give them a chance to see this bonus, but if the bonus ain't what they talked it up to be, then all right. Well, I appreciate your time, but I'm going to start looking for another job. If you can't follow through with all the promises you've told me, I can't follow through with this line of work anymore. I'll go back to Daikin before I keep struggling. And I hated that company. And I still get those damn why YouTube? Why? Why do you keep sending me ads for jobs at Daikin when I quit that place? Yeah. 37. Damn. I bet you're right. I bet you I tell them, hey, look, I found a new job. I don't know what else to tell you. You know, either you can match it or make it better, or, I'm going off to greener pastures. Problem is, I love my job. I do. I love what I do. I get to work with my hands a lot. I get to teach people how to survive. It's not a hard job, and it's really rewarding to see what we do. It's just the money isn't what it should be. So, it is what it is. So I think he's going to see a real high turnover. I know there's a couple more guys complaining about it. Hell, one of the guys that gives me the most crap even said they don't pay you enough for what you do around here. So, damn you, John. Damn you. Nobody recognizes me right now. It'll be back. Give this about 3 months. Give this about 2 more years. No, but it is what it is. I don't want to go off on a depressing tangent. So any other questions before I wrap up the show? I know I keep harping on this. We're almost at the 2 hours. I figure I'd give you an extra minute or two. But if no more questions, I'll keep watching the chat if y'all post anything while I wrap it up. But, I appreciate y'all. Got into a fight with a weed eater. Now, John, I'm dealing with a lot right now, and I needed to do something that I could control because I can't afford a new tattoo right now. And chopping off the hair was the closest thing I could to get to control. So it is, I don't want to be I don't want to be another one of those numbers. But give you some mind. Yeah, I wish this grew faster. This grows like a weed. This grows like, well, roses. If you don't take care of it, treat it right, and baby it, it just dies. So, and Denise Pridemore got me on this black seed oil because she said it helps your hair grow faster and it comes in thicker. Like, all right, I'll try it. Yeah, John, I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to. It's just getting hard. I'm tired of fighting. But she got me on black seed oil. And I was like, it's a great idea. It's good for joint pain, boosts your immunity, helps with your hair and nails. Like, it's got this huge list of benefits for you. What she didn't tell me is it tastes like you're drinking a damn tree. No, you didn't hear me right. It tastes like you're drinking a tree. Like what you would expect to taste like an oak tree, not like pine, maple syrup. No. Oh, it's terrible. It tastes god awful. It is disgusting. And if you burp, there's no getting rid of the taste. Barbara, I'm just not trying to push my problems off onto too many people. And yeah, but black seed oil is disgusting. It's terrible, but I have been drinking it for a few days. I'm gonna finish this bottle. I have tablets coming, because I do need something for my joints. My neck's been hurting me for a couple months now.
Now, what are you drinking?
Black seed oil.
Oh yeah, you talked about that. How's it working?
Well, this is coming in faster, but it tastes like shit. It's disgusting.
Oh, you mean it would grow up on top of this?
I don't know if it would help that come in, but it's helped it grow faster.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Where'd you get your bottle at?
Amazon.
Oh.
It's just nasty.
Yeah, I use flaxseed oil to season cast iron pans.
And I'm going to try
tequila. Hey.
Yeah, I got incense to kind of help my mood. I've got a burner coming in later this week. I know I don't have money, but I'm just trying something to get me out of a crappy mood. And lavender's supposed to help you sleep. So
yeah, lavender does.
if you see me come on to the show next time on my cell phone, it's because my house burned down.
Better not do that.
I put them all in the cast iron pan and lit it on fire. It didn't work right.
Oh. Did you ever find out what that big house was that we seen all them lights on?
Not yet. As far as we know, it's a house.
Yeah, it's a house. It's a huge ass house.
I'm glad you reminded me. I got to take a scope to that at some point in time. I'll try and get a scope on it tomorrow, and then Tuesday we can talk about what it is.
Right. Oh, Tuesday, I got some good news.
Oh, boy.
Paranormal Nation Radios will be here on the Bill of Rights, but we're also being picked up by another network.
Oh, that's interesting.
So we'll be talking a little bit more about the paranormal.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Yeah, I got contacted today. I was like, sure. Real good friend of mine started a network, and once Paranormal Nation Radio, you, me, and Denise are on there, and
yeah. Like, I don't know what I have to do with it because I don't talk about the
paranormal. You're the skeptic. You're the skeptic.
I'm the pretty face.
Until we figure out who's behind you.
Yeah, which we still haven't. He's gone now. John, no, I don't think I have your contact beyond your Facebook. Yeah, that and I like to tell scary stories. I really need to go and find some more.
Yeah, you got to. Halloween's coming up.
Oh, that's true. What day is Halloween on? And the owner wants to do a Halloween party. Like, you know how bad of an idea that is?
Hey,
I'm going to go out of my
one here.
I'm going to go out of my way to scare people.
You think that's bad? I got a kids' night tomorrow night. I got to show creepy movies on the big screen in there for them.
Halloween is on our Sunday show.
Oh. What? Talk about that.
Yeah, we will.
We might be live in here watching all the creepy people.
We'll have to
coordinate.
Yeah. because we can do something still Second Amendment related with Halloween.
Yeah. See how many of the idiots I can shoot.
Just like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's a comedian that talks about it. He's like, I can't see that happening in Texas. Oklahoma? Yeah. Nobody owns guns in Oklahoma. You can come in and have a field day. Texas, he's going to walk into that field and get wasted. Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate.
Well, that's just kind of like Oklahoma is the only state where you can legally go hunt Bigfoot.
I'm going to just hide that real quick.
Yeah.
I don't have big
I know
feet.
you've been hiding, but.
Well, clown stories. I love clown stories. My mom hates them. Mom
I got a few
absolutely
people
hates
up here that don't like clown stories or clowns.
I got to see if I can find my old Halloween mask.
Mm-hmm.
I know I found my straitjacket. Yes, I own a straitjacket. It's a little big on me.
Don't ask why, folks. Don't ask why.
I do own a straitjacket.
No clown or creepy.
Chad Candy Yardworks is done. Safe. Don't mind drinking alone either.
Right.
I do. I cannot drink alone.
No, he drinks real good when somebody's there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Hey, that was understandable. You know.
I'm kind of falling back into that habit again.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Don't be doing that.
Me and my roommate went out yesterday. Yeah. So I will not be drinking for probably the next few months.
Okay, well, I gotta get off. I heard doors, so
yeah, ghosts, guns, and goblins. Huh?
Yeah, you might as well end the show when you want, and I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Okay. Take it easy, Carl. Good luck.
Bye, folks.
Ghosts, guns, and goblins, huh? There's a joke about goblins, but I can't say it on here. But, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all spending some time with me. I look forward to seeing y'all next Sunday. Same time, same place. Be sure to check out the rest of the Bill of Rights Network shows. People's Voice with Voraciously Vincent. HTX Renegade Radio with TDC and Simple Man. Bill of Rights Networks After 9. Oh, Carl's going to get mad at me if... Mike Miller. I'm missing somebody. Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal, with me, Carl, and Denise. A lot more than she's a guest. No, she's a part of the show now, Hoss. Try not to pick it up again. Yeah, I started smoking like a chimney again. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all next time. As always, I'm Cameron, and this is the Second Amendment Rant.